Hi everybody, Sean Ross here, and I am finally on time with my English dub review for Dragon Ball Super. I do apologize right off the bat that episode 40's review last weekend was delayed, but if you guys missed that video, you guys can find that video right up here. But let's talk about Dragon Ball Super English dub episode 41 because I really enjoyed this episode, and I kind of feel that a lot of little things happened in this episode. Like, I feel like so many things got dropped or kind of foreshadowed in this episode for future things to come, because a lot of things got talked about with King Zeno entering the story of Dragon Ball Super. But besides everything with the first half, it was a drastic difference compared to the second half, because the whole second half of this episode with the Super Shenron coming out of the Super Dragon Balls, or as I like to call him, Slifer the Sky Dragon, because that is a very similar design to that Yu-Gi-Oh card. But besides that, that felt like a galaxy acid trip, just getting to witness the size of this dragon, how he made universes look minuscule in his overhaul presence. Like, that right there was insane to watch. But I want to rewind and just go from the beginning of this episode to the end, and we got to talk about Lord Zeno entering the story of Dragon Ball Super. I love this little guy. He is so cute and adorable, but don't let that fool you. He is all powerful, and he is the ruler over the 12 known universes within Dragon Ball. And what I love about this section is not only the fact that he appears with his two bodyguards, who actually I find very ironic that the most powerful being in the universe needs bodyguards, but the fact that Beerus and Champa quiver in fear and sweat like I've never seen them sweat before within his presence, and the fact they immediately go down to the stage and bow in his presence. I love that section, but it's with Whis and Vados being able to say anything about the gods of destruction and not hearing a peep out of Beerus and Champa. They don't bark back at their angels. They just let whatever they need to say, and they just quiver in fear, hoping that Zeno does not bring the pain on their asses. I absolutely love that section, but I have to give a shout out to the new English voice actress who is voicing Zeno in this episode. And please forgive me if I do mispronounce your name. Sarah Weidenheft, you did an amazing job with voicing Zeno. I loved the sections of just him standing there going, That could be the word for this episode, because I just love the delivery of those in this episode. So Zeno is cute and adorable, but he is just all powerful, and I love how the introduction of him was handled within this English dub episode for Dragon Ball Super. But I think it's him actually getting to meet Goku in this episode I find to be the most entertaining, because Goku is just so childlike and naive to the entire situation around him. He doesn't realize he is about to shake hands with the most powerful being of all 12 universes. And I find it very funny that the most childlike characters easily get along once they meet each other. Like, Zeno is looking at Goku's like, "You're funny, I like you," and even Goku's like, "I like you too, you're awesome," and they just shake hands. But it's the proposal that Zeno has about having a tournament with all the universes participating that I'm going to find very, very interesting once we get to that within the English dub, because right now the Japanese sub is currently within that arc right now. So I'm really looking forward to whenever we get to the all universes tournament arc. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I just love getting to see the interactions with Goku and Zeno within this section. So once Zeno ends up leaving, everyone is basically winding down from the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament. Majin Buu just so happens to wake up at the very end of this tournament, which honestly, he has impeccable timing. And even Mr. Satan, Hercule himself, is looking at Monaka saying like, "You should be the poster boy for me. I could train you up and you can become the next champion of the universe." I love that section. Mr. Satan just up to his old ways. It was very, very funny. But it's once Universe 6 is about to leave and we have Kaba saying goodbye to Vegeta and Goku basically saying goodbye to Hit. I love this new dynamic that Vegeta and Goku were basically able to make friends with Kaba and Hit. I love Kaba, you know, calling Vegeta his master, even though Vegeta's like, "Don't call me master, I never agreed to this." But Kaba kind of hints at a future arc that hopefully, I hope, comes to pass within Dragon Ball Super, with maybe Vegeta and Goku going over to Universe 6 and visiting planet Sadala with the Universe 6 Saiyans. I would find that very, very interesting. But then Goku saying goodbye to Hit. Even though Hit doesn't say a word, I still love the fact that Goku is like, hey, when's our next rematch? I want to fight you at your best. Goku, never change. Honestly, I just love the fact that he just wants to fight Hit at his best. He just doesn't change as a character. So Universe 6 ends up leaving, and everyone from Universe 7 right now is trying to figure out a way to find the 7th Super Dragon Ball. And as Bulma, whips out the Super Dragon Ball radar, 18, who I'm really glad got some spotlight within this episode, actually was able to deliver a few lines. I love it when 18, because honestly, she's one of my favorite girls within Dragon Ball in general, but she points out to Bulma that, hey, I see 7 balls on your radar. And they look and they're like, yeah, you're right. And they're like, but there's only 6 Super Dragon Balls around us right now. And out of all the characters to point this out, Monaka is like, well, maybe you guys aren't looking at it in 3 dimensions, kind of like an X, Y, and Z axis. And Whis looks at Monaka and is like, huh, Monaka, you're right. All right, everybody, into the hexahedron. I know where the last Dragon Ball is. And everyone gets into, basically the tiny rectangle spaceship, and Whis ends up destroying the planet that everybody was fighting for the tournament on. And it is revealed that the 7th Super Dragon Ball was the planet the whole time. So now we have all 7 Super Dragon Balls gathered and they're ready to make their wish. And as we learned a few episodes back at the beginning of this arc, the only way to bring about the Super Dragon from the Super Dragon Balls is basically to say in the divine tongue, come forth, Super Dragon, grant my wish, peas and carrots. I'm paraphrasing there, but that is basically the gist of what you have to say. But this section surprised me because as soon as Beerus said it in the divine language, I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. But then once Whis spoke, he did not sound like Whis' voice actor in that moment, and it really caught me off guard. I was like, was that even Whis' voice? Because it sounded so much differently than how he normally speaks, and it changed once again once he went back to the normal language to say peas and carrots. I just found that very weird and very jarring for me, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. It just caught me very, very off guard. But then we have this sequence of just the Super Dragon just emerging from the Super Dragon Balls. We see Slifer the Sky Dragon emerge, and this dragon is monstrous. It is huge. And I really do like the fact, too, that once he ended up speaking, as soon as I heard the voice, I'm like, that's Chris Sabat voicing the dragon. Not only has he voiced right now Shenron and Purunga, but he's also got the Super Dragon under his belt as well, which I'm not complaining. He does a great dragon voice because his voice just gets so deep and so menacing. But it's the entire animation sequence of just watching this dragon just burst through the solar system, through galaxies, and basically these galaxies are minuscule to his size. It was a very cool sequence, and it really goes to show that the Super Dragon name is not an understatement. Like, this is the king of all dragons within the Dragon Ball world. So once Slifer the Sky Dragon is done growing throughout Universe 7, Bulma leaves it to Beerus and Whis to make the wish with Slifer the Sky Dragon, the Super Dragon, and lets Beerus know, it's like, hey, do not make an evil wish, do not obliterate us from existence. As Beerus like, don't worry, I'm not going to make an evil wish. And Beerus basically tells Whis what his wish is going to be in the divine language, and Whis looks at him very funny, and he's like, are you sure that is your wish, my lord? And Beerus is like, yup, that is my wish. So they end up making the wish with the Super Dragon. Once the wish is granted, we see all the Super Dragon Balls scatter amongst both of the universes 6 and 7. And Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma, they don't really know what he wished for. So they ask Beerus, it's like, Beerus, what did you wish for? And he's like, oh, the world's most comfiest bed. And they looking at him shocked, like, why would you waste a wish on the Super Dragon for the world's most comfiest bed? But that was not the wish that he ended up wishing for, because we end up switching over to Champa and Vados zooming through Universe 6. Vados gets an alert on her staff and shows Champa that their Earth in Universe 6 has been restored and is actually very similar to the one in Universe 7. So Champa is actually now indebted to Beerus. He can now go enjoy the cuisine of Earthlings and just have all the delectables that he can just chow down upon. Ice cream, pizza, ramen, anything from Earth he now can enjoy within his universe, but he is indebted to Beerus right now, and Beerus even states that within this episode. It's like, Champa's gonna owe me for this one. He basically has him under his thumb right now, but the episode basically ends with Goku still trying to catch a fight with Monaka, but Beerus is like, Goku, go home. Monaka's tired. Let him rest, and I promise you can fight him later. And I find that still very funny that he's still tricking Goku with the fact that Monaka is one of the strongest fighters that Beerus has ever fought. And he is just a simple tech guy that Beerus just hired for this tournament, end up paying him off in gold, but letting him know, it's like, hey, if I need you to fight against Goku or just like trick him again, I'll call you. And Monaka is completely terrified by this. But the episode basically ends with the end of this arc, this tournament, and just seeing the rest of our fighters and all of our characters returning to Earth in Universe 7. And that is basically what happens for this episode, which ends the Universe 6 tournament arc. Honestly, I thought it was done very well. The English dub adapted it spot on. I loved the dialogue, but even though the animation did pick up, as this went on, it definitely got a lot better in the later halves of this tournament. But that's basically it for this review. I'm really looking forward to see what's going to be happening during the period in between this arc and the next arc to come, because I am so looking forward to this next arc coming up. Sean Schemmel is the voice actor. I am looking forward to see how he ends up voicing the upcoming character. I don't want to give spoilers away in case some people are still going into the English dub blind, but I can just say, once the next arc starts, it is going to be so enjoyable. But before I end up ending this video, I think I do have to bring up this news that has kind of rocked the Dragon Ball community as a whole. And even if you are just a dub watcher of Dragon Ball, this still should be something you guys know. And just recently, within the past couple days, the Japanese voice actress for Bulma, who goes by the name, and please excuse me if I do mispronounce her name, Hiromi Tsuru. This has been the Japanese voice actress for Bulma for the past 30 years. This is the voice of Bulma for a lot of people, and this is the person that brought life originally to this character from manga adaptation to the anime adaptation. So for English voice actors like Tiffany and Monica, who have voiced Bulma for the English dub, they owe everything to this person right here, to Tsuru, who has voiced this character, brought life to Bulma. I know a lot of people are going to be very upset for the next couple days and weeks, but all I can say is thank you, Tsuru, for your work you've done with Dragon Ball, because Bulma is one of the most iconic characters, if not the most essential character within Dragon Ball as a whole. And I just want to say thank you for all that you've done for this character. You will be missed, but we will just cherish the work that you did for this character, and also all the other characters that you brought a voice to within anime as a whole. Tsuru, thank you so much. But that is going to be it, guys, for this video. I'm really looking forward to episode 42 of the English dub when it comes out next weekend. But until then, and until episode 42, I will talk with you guys then. See you later, guys.